All right, ladies and gentlemen, today we're talking about your average ticket per client. And this is one of the core KPIs that, if you're going to measure KPIs, that you kind of really need to measure, obviously, along with retention rate and a few others. But your average ticket value, when it comes to really trying to figure out how much your salon's potential is over the next 3, 6, 12 months, is going to be really, truly one of the key numbers that you want to grow. There's a few areas that you're going to want to grow your salon and in a few areas you want to grow your salon in. And the way to do that would be the number of times your customers come back, the average ticket, and then the price, like how much you're charging, which obviously is tied to your average ticket. But you could kind of compound how much they're spending by spreading out what they're spending things on, so it's not as big as a ticket shock. When when it when I talk to my hairstylists in my salons, they feel like they should charge, like obviously charge their worth. And what begins to happen is when you bring them to the front counter, they feel like they're almost getting taken advantage of. And it's like one full highlight was $350. Then it's the single process. Then it's the gloss. Then it's the haircut. And so, yeah, you're getting your average ticket up. But what I like to do is I like to have not one banger ticket. I like to have more visits in my salon with the average ticket being more consistent. And so when you talk about your average ticket price, you might have $300 or $400 for a big color service. Then the next time they come in, it's just a gloss. And then they skip out for a couple months and then it's just like a blowout. Me, what I honestly like to do, I like more consistency throughout my salon, like income. So I may not do a full highlight. I may do 3 partials. And what that does is it spreads the amount of spend that my client's doing in my salon per visit, which, believe it or not, is actually increasing my average ticket value. Because rather than drop $400 today and then not come back for 6 months, what I like to do is, let's use the example of Barbara. Hey, Barbara, so you're in for a full highlight today, but honestly, I don't think you need a full highlight. I think your hair feels a little dry and we should do a treatment on your hair. And I think we should do a partial today. And so what that allows you to do is A, do a treatment, do the partial highlight, but then get her back in again in 6 weeks for another partial, which would be like maybe another 200 if that's your partial and your full is 300 or 350. Then at that visit, you get her back in again 6 weeks later. So she spent, let's say 200, 200, 200, and let's say your full highlight's 400. She just spent 600. And so rather than her only drop 400 and not see again for 6 months, which at the end of the year, if she only comes in a few times for highlights, like once or twice a year, and then the rest of the time she's doing a haircut or a blowout or some other service, it's just going to really bring your average ticket down because she's spending $50 for a blowout and then maybe like $30 for a gloss. You want more consistency. And so when I talk to my younger stylists, they're afraid to charge. And it makes it a lot easier for your younger stylist to charge something they feel comfortable asking for at the register until they get really efficient with having the conversation around money. So when it comes to your average ticket and you want to raise it, rather than thinking about banging the person over the head with one huge service, try to spread out the amount of services and the amount of micro services that you're doing that still are substantial, but it doesn't really hurt their pocket. So if you take the example of Barbara, she'll come to me in January, we'll do a partial. She'll come to me again in, let's say, March, we'll do another partial. She'll come to me again in May, and we'll do a full highlight. Then she's totally ready for summer. Her hair's prepped, it's not over dried. And let's say she spent 200, 400, and then now 300, that's going to be $700. Whereas if I do a partial or full highlight in January, call it $300, she's not going to come back for a while. That full highlight's going to last her. It may last her a while, but in her mind, she just got a full. She doesn't need to come back for a little while. So I typically might do one full highlight a year. Everything else is a micro or a partial. And then I stack on either a haircut or a gloss or some other service in there. So it's not really making a big ding in her wallet. So James, Can you do me a favor, James?
Yeah.
Can you dim this light over here for me?
I can.
Just like tone it down. It's
it
like
looks pretty good.
it's glaring right now in my eyes. If you could do that for me.
It's giving you that effect that you wanted.
Yeah, I know, but it's really distracting to my live here. Like I'm blind out of this eye. All right, guys, we're gonna fix the lighting here. Just like warm it up a little bit, maybe dim it down. Cool, not that warm. Now look at Oompa Loompa. All right, good to go. All right, take it back from the top. So, your average ticket. If you guys have a challenge asking for these bigger ticket services, all you need to do is just break them in half. And then it makes it a lot easier for you to get them or the client to spend 200 every visit rather than 400 or 300 and then nothing for 6 months or $30 next time they come in for a gloss. So just something for you guys to think about when it comes to the luxury hairstylist and your pricing menu. The average ticket is not difficult to get up. And then on the other side of your average ticket, when it comes to your clients who are mainly just kind of like root touch up and go, there's a way to position hair color as part of the styling and as part of their look. You don't have to really do a full partial highlight in somebody. 5 foils, you can tack on $20, $30, $40 to their single process. And it is not enough money to make them say no or ow, but it's enough money when you compound that over 10 or 20 people where it's a substantial boost in your revenue. And how I like to do this, I think I spoke about it yesterday. Ask the client to see some pictures of their hair, how it's styled, at the event they went to. Big, hey, Barbara, you went to the wedding. Do you have any pictures? I'd love to see some pictures. Oh, your hair came out amazing. She's going to be like, either yes or no. Like, do you think it looks too dark here? But yeah, I thought the same thing in the picture. Like, you want to throw a couple highlights in just to make it pop? I would love to do that. And so for someone who never really had highlights before, you're adding like a teaser, maybe 10, 15 foils. And that's plenty of foils for her to have a significant change in her look. Not enough where you're going to have to charge her for a full partial, right? Where it's going to be $250. But to throw 40, 50, 60 bucks on her ticket, she's cool with it. Her hair looks amazing. You feel better because now you got her into a service and her hair's going to look better and you're actually delivering on you being the best hairstylist in the world. And if you, like I said before, if you do that over the course of 15 people in your book, you substantially raise your income. So James,
Nick,
we're going to break into some Q&A today.
Cool.
And I want to talk about anyone who has a problem around pricing and around like breaking up your services in a way that is more digestible for your guest and what that really looks like for you and for what you charge. So if you guys have any questions, drop it in the comments below. Because I think this is something I did really, really well as a hairstylist. And like when I passed my clients off to my team was upset because I was charging less than what they would charge for a partial and a single. But I think I never really did a good job passing this information on to them until after it became an issue. And so they're always like, Nick, your client was complaining because it was more than you were charging. I was like, yeah, well, why were you charging her more? She's like, well, I did a partial and I did a single process and then I gloss and I did this. I'm like, all right, how many folds did you do? She's like, oh, I did a full partial. Like I did the exact amount that a partial will get. I'm like, why would you do that? She doesn't need that. She only needed 15 foils. That's why I would charge her $125 for the single and a few highlights. And she pretty much did that every single time. So now she's going to be not coming back for a while because it was too expensive for her. And so I was a volume hairstylist. And I mean, I'm willing to bet that I probably made more than 99% of the people out there in our industry. And I was not doing extensions. I was just doing really cutting and color and had a couple of extension clients, but my average month was between $25,000 and $30,000 is what I would bring into the salon. And I think that's a pretty good number for somebody who didn't do extensions. And I did that because all of my clients, I was able to now book more people. I wasn't spending an hour highlighting someone's hair. I was spending literally 10 minutes or 15 minutes just banging out some foils on top of their single. Then my next client, I was doing the same thing. And my next client, I was doing the same thing. And I was really able to have a mid to low, like when I say low, I mean, not a high ticket of my service, but it was like more in the mid to the higher range And I was able to do that across every single client. They were happy because they felt like they got foils and didn't pay for them. And I was happy because I was making more money. So when I had this conversation with my team, it was always around like, well, what are you charging them? And how come we were so cheap on them? Like, well, this is what I did. Don't do so many foils and you'll be able to get them in and out of the salon and you'll be able to fit 3 more people in today. And so for those of you people out there who don't want to be a volume stylist, if you truly love what you do and you truly love having an impact on people, why wouldn't you want to do more people's hair in a day? Why would you only want to do 2 people in one day when you could do 8 people in one day? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, rather than have a $400 or $500 day, want to have a $1,500 day. You're in the salon anyway. Why would you want to spend 5 hours on somebody to only have them come back once or twice a year when you could have 6 people in your salon spending $200 and you're bringing in $1,200? It just doesn't make sense. So, James, let's break into the Q&A.
Hair by Jessica Marie. Okay, but how do you bring up add-ons without sounding like you're just trying to get more money out of them?
Great question. You ask them about their picture. Hey, in this picture, Rose, like, do you feel like your hair looked a little dark here? She's going to say either yes or no. Then, do you want to throw a couple highlights in just to make your color pop? She's probably going to say yes. That would be awesome. Then you just throw a couple highlights in just to make her color pop. Then the next time she comes in, she might ask you for that again. It's that simple. You ask them how they feel about their hair, if there's something they want to change, if they want to go darker or lighter or however, and then you position the service that can solve that problem for them. It's all about the client journey. And when you're selling something, you're truly not selling, you're serving. So make sure that what you're recommending is the solution to the thing that they have a problem with when it comes to their hair. And then they kind of sell themselves into it. James.
We have Samantha Styles, HTX. What's your take on service menus with pricing versus keeping pricing off and customizing everything?
That's a really good question. I like to have pricing displayed, honestly. That's why I have the plus sign or it's end up. It's like, I think the whole customization thing, like, I'm going to custom create your color. I get where people are coming from, but from a client who's never been there before, they don't know what that means. They want to know roughly around how much is it going to cost me to get my hair done. And so when they call a salon, you really can't give it a quote until you see their hair. But roughly our highlights start at $300. Our full highlight starts at $300. Our partial start at $225. Depending on the stylist and your hair density and length, it will fluctuate and the amount of color being used. So, rough estimate, how long is your hair? Shoulder length, perfect. You have a lot of hair. Would you say it's really thick or it's more in the medium to fine side? It's medium. Perfect. So right around there, depending on color being used, you're going to be for a partial highlight $225 with Nick. And then when they come in, you can give them the honest, true, like, quote on what their hair is going to be. But when you have like these custom colors, if it works for you right now, anyone listening, keep doing what you're doing. I'm just telling you what worked for me. You're good if you want to just do 1 or 2 clients a day and do a custom color, awesome. Keep doing your thing. If you want to make serious money and like life-changing money, I'm not talking like $10,000 a month. I'm talking $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month when you start including your tip. And if you're doing extensions, it's 100% possible as a hairstylist. But it's not going to happen until you do some volume. Like, and if you could do volume by charging a lot of money, that's where everything changes. So if you're custom creating color, I think everything is custom color. Like anytime I do a highlight service on somebody, it's custom to that person's head shape, to the color of their hair, to their skin tone, to their haircut. So every single thing that I do is custom. It's just how I'm doing it for that particular person. So yeah, just because you have some kind of cool little pricing menu doesn't mean mine's not custom. But yeah, I would ask. It's hard for you to ask because clients probably aren't booking because there's no color. I think people want to see, they want to get an idea of what they're going to be paying in your salon. And if you're a luxury salon, you weed out all the people who can't afford your services anyway. So it makes it easier during the consultation because the person who's going to say yes already knows that it said $500 for your haircut. And so they're not going to be like, oh no, $500 at the register, that's way too much. And you're going to attract people, if you charge a lot of money, that value their hair and value spending money on their beauty and their hair care. So you're actually probably going to push away some people by not having prices. And in reality, you're going to be attracting the people who do want to spend some money on their hair and value you as a hairstylist for investing in your education and knowing your worth. James.
Hair Hustle TV. Do you think online booking helps or hurts average ticket? I feel like people just pick the cheapest option.
No, then don't. This is why having such good timing is so important. So I can do a full highlight in 45 minutes. If they booked a partial and they really should have got a full, it's your job as the hairstylist to tell them, hey, you're in for this. What we really need to get this look that you want is this service. So let's do this today. Get you back in here. Does Wednesday work for you next week at 2:00? Perfect. I'm going to put you in for Wednesday at 2:00. We'll do the rest of the highlights then. And so it's exactly what I explained in the beginning. You're able now to have them book online. And then from the consultation, you're able to now get them pre-booked for the next service to deliver the result that they really wanted, but they weren't sure how to pick it. Another thing that you can do is what I love to do is in the online booking, when they book a service, right before they do that, have a link to a video that explains exactly what they should be booking, how they should be booking it. So give a couple of visuals. I mean, it's 2026 right now. You could create a YouTube video that you link into your booking app or whatever you have, and they could watch, hey, this is a full highlight, this is a partial, this is a blonde transformation, this is a face frame highlight. And so if you want this look, don't book this appointment, book this one instead. And you could literally just throw that video up and help make that not happen ever again in your salon. James.
Lisa Tran Beauty. Do you bundle services together or keep everything separate on your menu?
I keep everything a la carte. Let me tell you why. Because I like to work with other hairstylists. And so someone comes to me, I want someone else to blow out their hair because I cut dry. I can now do the highlight. I'll have my other stylist apply the single between the foils. Then I'm going to have my assistant blow dry the hair, and then I'm going to cut the hair dry. So now as an owner, it's your job to get everyone busy. It's your job to get away from behind the chair so you can focus on the business. So what I used to do is apply the foils because no one could really apply foils like me. And then from there, I would have my other artist, maybe the junior stylist who's not that busy, apply the single, who's actually knows that person, taking their color down, blowing out their hair before, has with that client at one point in her journey in my salon. So now she's comfortable with her. So I give the client the single process. That way she's happy. She's making money. I'm a commissioned salon, so I'm making money too. I'm taking that time that I would spend applying that single process to do another foil because I'm not slow and I'm fast and I could bang out a partial in 30 minutes. Now it's another 225 rather than like 55 for the single process or 65, whatever it is. And then my assistant's getting practice at blowing out hair, but yet she's $15 an hour. So what I'm doing now is she's making her hourly rate by doing the blowout because it goes in her column. It's not coming out of my pocket anymore. Frees up my time to apply a single on somebody else rather than blow her out. I swoop in at the very end, cut my client. Now what I do is I take my haircut price. Let's say it's $100. Let's say Susie's blowout is 30. I take 70 out of the haircut. Susie gets 30 in her column for the blowout. And now everybody's eating in my salon. My client had a beautiful experience. She didn't sit and wait for something like me to have to apply color or something else. She got a chance to really have a unique conversation with multiple people. So when I do want to go on vacation, she's comfortable visiting other people's chair in my salon. Now, every person's getting busy. No one's sitting in the back wondering where their next client is. And it honestly, I think, is the best way to run a commission salon. So that's how I do it. That's why I like everything a la carte, because this way it's really easy to break up all the services. When you have a bundled service, what do? And this is the thing I don't understand. I have a couple clients in the Level Up Academy, and I don't ever change anyone's. If this business is working for you, do what you're doing. I'm just telling you what works for me and how I operate. But they were including the blowout with the color. Why? If you have a blowout on your menu, separate them. It's two different services. Every service should be a la carte. That's my opinion. James, next question.
XX Westwood. Should the prices of a barber who works at a salon differ from the salon prices on the same services being offered, haircuts, trims, etc.?
Every person has their own unique ability, and every person could have their own pricing, I feel, based on what they deliver as a service. So if you're a barber, me personally, excuse me, I don't like the way my hair grows out with clippers. I think scissor over comb has a much better grow out. Now, I could do a skin fade with a scissor and a comb. I get pretty damn close with my scissors and a barber comb. So I feel that you should almost be charging more if you're using scissors and a comb because it takes a little more skill than using a clipper. Now, a barber, in the barber essence of like the shave, the hot shave, the experience, if you're giving a true barber experience in a salon, that's cool. I had a barber in my salon too. You have to charge for that experience. So I don't think there should be any standard set pricing for you and for them. I think if you're better at cutting men's hair, then charge more money. If you're not busy, then charge less maybe till you get busy and then raise your prices. But I feel like my barber would charge kind of right on par with everybody else. But don't forget, I have a friend of mine who charges $150 for a men's haircut in a salon. And he's really not that good at cutting men's hair. Like he's just not. People go to him, people pay it. Blows my mind. And that comes from another question too. Like, should a men's haircut be different than a woman's haircut? A haircut's a haircut. I mean, you're blowing out a woman's haircut. That's why it should be more and you're doing more styling. But a really detailed men's haircut, some people think it should be the same price. James, yeah.
We have Yeshi the Hair Witch. So if it's a la carte when clients book online, do they choose, for example, a full color service? And if they want a blowout, they choose that as a second service?
Yeah. They book a color and a blowout. And then if it's not available, depending on the booking software, it could put them with an assistant, or they could book a color with you and a cut with Jen. Like it gives them options to book different appointments with different people. But that's how they do it. Yeah, it's highlight, then a blowout. And then the booking software is done in a way where you have a drop time and knows if you could put a blowout there or not. The only issue is if you could squeeze somebody in and they want the blowout with their service, they may not be able to get it. So just add a note in there on how you can get you could blow out their hair if they didn't find time for one. You have an assistant available. Like you can make it known that you can get them in for it. Honestly, the best way to do it is before they leave your salon, take this handy dandy cell phone here or an iPad or a computer in the salon, sit with them and be like, hey, Nancy, what's your email? I'm going to sign you up for the online booking. Please verify your email. Thank you. Here's how you do it. You're going to book your color first, not your haircut, because that screws up my day. But you book the color, then you slide it up. Here's how you book your blowout, and you pre-book their next appointment with the booking app in front of them. The really cool thing is the new iPhone, you could do a screen recording, and then you just do a voiceover for them, exactly how to book their own appointment on their phone, and you hand it to them. It's called the camcorder method. I do that for everything in my life.
It's great.
But that's how you do it.
She also asked, even if I'm a salon suite renter, does this work?
Yeah. Do you do hair? Yeah. No different from a suite. If you're a salon suite renter, the first thing I would do is get as busy as you can. So you have to hire an assistant, then get out of your suite and get a micro salon, and then build a team, like a small team, maybe 3, 4, 5 people. And then that way you're not always trading your time for money. So you could take these lessons and really amplify them. But yeah, it works when you're in a suite too. A la carte.
Atlier's Salon Lamont. How much should I charge for a weft install for 1 row, 2 rows, or more? I'm in Lamont, Illinois.
How much is an iPhone in Lamont, Illinois? Is the same price as a iPhone in New York City. It is. So, depending on your mindset, you can charge whatever you're worth. I'm not familiar when it comes to like what you should charge. Follow Tiffany Lowe from Christian Michael Hair Extensions, and you can ask her. She owns an extension brand.
We have Stylist Survivor.
Not to push your question off. I just can't give you like how much is the hair, like the install, like $200, $300 per row. Like I like we charge here, I think it's 300. I'm not even in the salon anymore that much, so I don't even know the pricing in my own salon sometimes.
Where's Jess when we need her?
Yeah, but ask Tiffany because then she would truly be able to guide you. All right, James.
We have Stylist Survivor. Is it better to raise prices or add services to increase revenue?
Add services. Here's the reason why. I think there's a time and place to raise prices and also add services. If you can add more services and get people used to them, when you raise prices, you're literally gonna triple and quadruple your ticket. There's a couple things I would like to do, and I'm gonna kind of change gears for a second. So you can raise prices, right? Don't raise prices unless your retention rate's solid. Now, one thing you could do instead of raising prices is get people in more often. Like instead of doing one full highlight, do 3 partials. That's secret number 1. Secret number 2, do a couple partials with some kind of a treatment or some kind of a other gloss to add more to that ticket. Then now that you got them in again 4 times a year, now you got them to do a couple more services. Then when you raise prices, you can raise prices across like just the cutting services. So you're not killing them. So I can do service cutting in the winter, color in the summer. So I seesaw my raising. I don't raise everything blanket across the board. A little bit in the summer, a little bit in the winter. This way, it's not a big shock to anybody. So now, every year, you're bumping everything up just a touch, just a little bit. It might do every 2 years, honestly. It depends on what your pricing is now, because you can't keep raising forever, because eventually you're going to be $10,000 for a haircut. It's silly. And you're going to see our industry is going to start going this way of pricing and get away from the packages because they're $700 and people don't want to pay that. So now you added a couple more services, you got them in a couple more times, and then you raise prices just a little bit. These keep inching up over the course of all your clients, through everybody. You're going to probably go from $80,000 a year to $120,000 a year, especially if your retention rate's on point, rather than just raise prices and go from 80 to 90. Hope that made sense. Guys, just let you know, I got up at like 3 o'clock this morning to shoot content. So I've been shooting content now for, I don't know. What time is it, James?
It's almost 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
1:45.
So I've been talking all day long.
So
I'm a little off today.
Goddess Salon.
If this is your first podcast or live, I'm usually smoother than this. We're just shot out today. All right, James.
Fried. Glam Goddess Salon. Should new stylists focus on building clientele first or building tickets first?
New stylists should focus on just being awesome at what they do. Like, focus on your clientele. Should focus on getting as many people sitting in your chair every day during the week. When you're a new stylist, if you just dedicate 2 years of your life, that's it. 2 years, like you're in college to get your PhD, and you're going to just put your head down and grind out for 2 years. That means you don't say no to anyone. You say yes. You come in late. You come in early. You stay late. You work weekends. You work Sundays if you have to. You do anything and everything you can to do as many people as you can to become the best in the world at whatever it is that you specialize in, whatever it is that you do. If you do that, at the end of 2 years, you're going to be way ahead of the people who have probably been doing hair for 8 to 10 years, half-ass. It's honestly the easiest industry in the world to make money in. There's no other industry like ours. You can graduate high school, get 1,200 hours or whatever your state wants you to get for a license, get your license, put your head down, watch every single video on hair cutting, every single video on coloring, become the best at what you do, tell the world about it, do every single friend's hair, do every friend's mom's hair, do every friend's sister's hair, do your niece, do your aunt, do your uncle, do everyone. Don't shut up about doing hair. In that 2 year time span, you've done pretty much the whole community or someone knows somebody who you did their hair. As long as you don't suck at what you do, then you're going to get really busy. That's what you focus on. Then once you're oversubscribed, you have too many people, then you start playing around with your prices and your average ticket.
From what I'm gathering, it seems like a lot of these are kind of mindset issues with people. They're scared to ask for more, to ask their clients if they want add-ons because it's going to cost money. But listening to you long enough, Nick, it really kind of seems like if they want to give the client the best result and that's what they're paying for, the result.
I'll give you guys a little feedback on who I am as a person. If I go to a website or if I go to find a software that I like and there's like a basic, a mid, and then a premium, I'm just going straight to the premium
every time.
I
can't even downsound like, Nick, we don't need all that. Yes, we do.
I want the best. So you're gonna track clients like that. So if you have really expensive prices, I'm going to think that you're like me and you charge what you're worth. My prices aren't cheap. They're not expensive either. Like I'm probably one of the most approachable programs in our industry that actually delivers the best results. But you should charge what you think you're worth, and you should show up every single day to your clientele, committed to deliver that result. And you can charge anything you want. But when it comes to pricing, I like, all right, what's the best, whatever. I want the best package. And if it comes to a coaching program, all right, they have these courses and these things, and these workbooks and all the other bullshit. How much is to work with you? How much is like 3 months of your time? That's really what I want. How much do you have to pay to fast track me sitting through 15 modules just to talk to you for 2 hours, just so I can really get the information? It only needs one nugget. So it's like, when it comes to that aspect of who I am, there's a lot of people like me out there. They're going to see your menu. They're going to be like, oh, Jen's $200 a haircut. Everyone else is $75. I want Jen. You'll start attracting people who value themselves enough to pay $200 for a haircut.
We got some good questions coming in.
Ask them and bust out.
Altier Salon, Lamont, who do I talk to about getting my Google listing to make it better? Us.
Yeah, you talk to me. It's your Google business page. So you want to make sure that your name, your address, your phone number, I say this every time, is consistent across all platforms on the interweb. Then your about me, make sure it's dialed in with specific language that speaks about the services you provide. All your services should be on there too. Link it to your website. Then you have your Google business page update section. It's actually called posts now. Make sure you're posting consistently 3, 4, 5 times a week. Then log into a different email, go to your Google business page, ask yourself 50 questions. Then log out, log back into your other email, go to your Google business page, answer all those questions. Super simple to do. Make sure you respond to every single review. When you respond to every review, make sure you're using the verbiage and the language that is connected to your service menu. If Jen got highlights, thank you, Jen. Your highlights came out beautiful. Thank you so much for the review. So when Google starts crawling your Google business page and someone's asking for the best highlights in whatever town you're in, you have 75 reviews with highlights mentioned. There's a bunch of frequently asked questions around highlights. It's in your service menu. It's in your bio. It's in your description. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to show up number 1 for highlights. I promise you. But also hit me up on Instagram and say, hey, help me out with my SEO. I got an ebook that I wrote that will help you out. It's free. Because I'm tired of people getting taken advantage of from these agencies who don't know what they're doing.
Westwood, XX Westwood. Other than your YouTube channel, do you recommend any other educational channels?
Oh my God. Bro, there's so, like, in business itself. All right. Scott Redgate, he's an SEO guy.
He's been on the show.
He's been on the show before. We're talking SEO. Same question for SEO, James?
No.
Oh, okay.
I think just in general.
Yeah, dude. Cody Sanchez. Let me just go through my feed right now. Gary Vaynerchuk, Cody Sanchez, Alex Hormozy, Layla Hormozy,
Dan Martell.
I'm going to rattle off a bunch of YouTube channels for you. You might even follow all of them. This guy, Ryan Dice, I just started following him. He's pretty good. I'm missing so many people. This kid, what's his name? Oh, that's hrefs.com. He actually is a guest on them. Hold on one second. Taki Moore, if you're a coach. Who else we got on here? Tony Robbins, he's a beast. Sabri Subi. Who else is popping up on my feed? Wes McDowell. Who else do I got coming up? I mean, Neil Patel. I like Neil. He's got good information. He's got good info. I'm gonna leave it there.
All right, we got
That's it. Start there.
Yesh, that hair witch again.
All right.
As a 6-year stylist that just started renting in the salon suite.
Sorry,
what would
Jeff
you
Sue.
recommend
Follow
at-
Jeff Sue too when it comes to like AI and fun stuff. Jeff Sue. That's the last guy. All right, James. Sorry, go ahead. Just bust out with a question.
Wasn't even paying attention. Yesh, the hair witch, as a 6-year stylist that just started renting in a salon suite, what would you recommend as I'm struggling to get clients in my chair?
All right. You should have never gone to a suite if you weren't oversubscribed to start with, but I'm not going to like live in hindsight. You need, if you're struggling to get clients in your chair, A, make sure you're the best at what you do. Make sure you really are good at what you do. And I'm saying that like out of the kindness of my heart. Don't think you're good. Really make sure you're the best. If you're the best, your clients will tell their friends about you. Now, you should have a Google business page. Make sure you have Foursquare, you have Yelp, you have Yellow Pages, all these different websites. Go to brightlocal.com, sign up for it. Make sure all the citations you have maxed out. Go through and do it manually. Don't use the software from Bright Local. You could use it, but I'd rather see you do it manually. That way you have your website being linked and your name and your services linked all across the interweb for local business, local SEO. Then I would really dial in your social media content. I would create educational content that teaches your clients, A, how amazing you are, but how to do their hair at home, the difference between a highlight and a balayage, the difference between a keratin and a Brazilian blowout, the difference of flat wrapping their bangs as opposed to blowing out their bangs with a round brush. I would take every piece of content. I would take every single consultation, every question my clients have, and create a piece of content around that. Then what I would do is I would post that content, obviously. I would take the best performing content. I would run a local campaign on Meta, like advertise and boost that particular post. Then any person within a 5 to 8 mile radius who sees that content, make sure it's good enough so people engage, comment, like, share, all of that shit. I would do a conversation with them. Then I would make it mandatory that I would reach out to 100 people every single day on Instagram because it's the best messaging platform, and speak to people who either follow me, who engage in my content. And if they don't like it, then I would find local restaurants of people who are posting pictures, getting tagged, and I would just start engaging with their content to make them aware that I actually do hair. I would ask them to come in my studio to be a model. And I would do that every day, all day, 12 hours a day for the next 6 months. And then that solves all your client problems. And also, I can't forget about this one. Go through your cell phone, go through your contacts, message every single person you know. Do the same thing with Facebook. Do the same thing with Instagram. Ask every person to come be your client. Your clients, your issue with clients will be solved. And then make sure every person you do leaves you a review as well. So you got social proof about how amazing you are.
At Leader Salon said, by the way, thank you. Because of your information, we have a ton of 5-star reviews. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Natural Hair Nicole, what's the fastest way to educate clients on why they need a certain service?
Ask them questions about the challenge they're dealing with their hair. So, hey, Nancy, when you blow out your hair, does it look like this? No? So, like it would make it so much easier if we just threw a couple highlights on your crown. What that does is it roughs up the cuticle of your hair. I know like we're getting technical here, and it gives you a little more texture because your hair is so soft. Like no amount of product you put in there is going to really help your style last. So can I just throw a couple highlights in just to kind of rough up, to give you that texture so you can see how much easier it is to blow out your hair? And don't even charge them. Use the bleach left over from somebody else and just throw a couple highlights in. Now they're going to love it. Now they're going to see, oh shit, my volume did stay. Next visit, you got a little bit of root. You don't do the highlights. The visit after that, their hair fell flat again. Guess what they're going to ask for? Hey, remember that time you put highlights in here? Can we do that again? Damn right we can. That's one way of doing it. Another way is having them show you pictures of their hair, how it's styled, and they're like, "Ooh, that's interesting." Like, yeah, I just don't like the way that's laying right there. Cause you part right here, like, oh, you go back and forth. So what I would honestly do, just to make it look brighter, is I would throw a couple highlights across this panel here. Or your hair feels dry. I think you need this treatment. Like, ask them about their lifestyle and about how their hair's looking, and then position a service to solve that frustration that they're having. Hope I didn't ramble too much on that. James?
We got Mom Stylist Life 28. I have a really specific situation. I'm a single mom and have a lot of my clients know that and feel like some of them use it to get discounts from me. Like they'll say things like, I know you need money, so I'll keep coming even though it's out of my way, as if they're doing me a favor. How do I stop attracting clients who see me as desperate and start attracting clients who value my work?
Raise your prices significantly. Make $1,000 a haircut. I'm obviously kidding. Watch the language that you're having. How are you showing up, and what's the language that you have? I know you don't want anyone feeling sorry for you. Say thank you. Gratitude's amazing, and I know you're grateful for it. But what are you saying, and how are you dressed, and how are you showing up to work every day that makes them feel sorry for you? Because if you showed up a certain way and you had a certain language and you had a certain kind of body language, I think that would eventually go away. So if you're saying things to them about being a single mom and how hard things are, then they're going to think that things are hard and you're a single mom and they have to pity you almost. But if you show up like a professional and you take on the identity of a strong single mom who doesn't need anybody, and you show up every single day as that professional who is doing it on your own easily, then I think everything will start changing. I hope that kind of helped as much as I could, but I don't know. I don't know the conversations you're having. That's why I jumped to that first. And you might be charging too little. And it might be how your tone when you're saying the price or you're asking for services too. Guys, confidence, like when I would raise prices or I would walk someone to the counter, I was so confident about what I was charging, and it was a no-brainer because I was always over delivering on the services I was providing, and I always achieved the result that my client wanted. And I was like, when I had to raise prices, like, oh my God, Big Kim, guess what? Like we just got a new color line in, and I took the certification course, so my haircut's actually going to 85. Like, but how amazing! Like, I would be excited about it. Like, I would be like, it's amped up that they were excited about it. So just make sure you're excited.
Main Street Salon. She wants to know how you stay confident with your pricing when everything is so expensive and no one has any money.
I mean, I would first change my mindset around nobody has any money. I would start raising my prices to a point where I pushed out people who had no money and started attracting people who had a lot of money, who value their hair. People have money. People choose not to work hard enough or take a second job if they need to, or cut all their spending on things that aren't as important as their hair, which is why they don't have money. So why should you suffer because that person wants to overspend in every area of their life, have the Netflix, have the Hulu, have the Disney, have the iPhone they can't afford, have the lease payment that they can't afford, go shopping for clothes every 6 weeks when they don't need them, 2 other subscriptions. I don't even know what they are, but I'm sure they have them. Like, people are overspending money so much, but they're not willing to work harder to make the money to keep up with their lifestyle. I work hard because I don't like budgets, but I need to have some restrictions on what I spend on because I'll never have any money. But money is not an issue because I choose to work harder in order to make more money so I can spend kind of what I want. So your clients are maybe complaining because you're in the middle. See, you're too expensive for the poor who like to invest in their hair. Honestly, believe it or not, they don't mind spending less money more often. The middle class is kind of where you're at probably, and I don't know your situation. They're always bitching about money because they're in the middle class. they're not poor, but they feel poor because they get taxed to death and they're pretty much the working class and they get ruined with their taxes. They don't work hard enough because they have nowhere bandwidth left because they're giving all their time to somebody else. When in reality, they probably could start a second side hustle if they wanted to. And then you're not expensive enough to attract the clientele that values himself enough to pay $200 for a haircut. I promise you, the salons in the world, in this economy, right, quote unquote, this economy, aren't slowing down, the luxury salons, because people who have money will always have money. So start doing services for people who have investments, people who have multiple properties, people who have 55 apartment buildings. Those ladies need their hair done too. Change the circle of people that you hang out with. Attract a different type of clientele. And then nothing's an issue.
Jenny Carcado, when's your next in-person class?
I don't really do a lot of in-person classes. I am going to tour 2026 and jump around to do different salons. I do have the Level Up Academy. So I do lives 3 to 4 times a week, in depth with real strategies. I don't just give you a workbook to fill out and then you try and like make sense of the workbook and it's doesn't even work. So what we do is live tactical strategies every single Monday. We do a live Q&A on Tuesday, like a little more in depth than this. Like I take a look at your website, I dissect everything, look at your social media. Then Wednesday, or actually Tuesday, we do Shopify e-commerce. So you actually build the personal economy and have revenue coming while you sleep. Thursday is a masterclass / Q&A. And then you get access to all my curriculum, all my playbooks, all my handbooks, anything and everything I use in my salon, my hiring process, my interview process, all of that. That happens every single week. It's just me. I don't push you off to some other coach. And yeah, I teach what I'm using in my salon, so I know it works. And when it doesn't work anymore because the industry is changing or like the ads algorithm or something changed, I recreate those lessons live with you on real-time data of what's working in my salon. So unlike some of the other salon owners who are teaching theory, some of the other coaches who are just teaching theory and guessing what might work and using you as the guinea pig, I use my salon as a guinea pig, and then I give you all the information of what's working. So I do that all the time. So if you want access to that, shoot me a DM at Nick Marabella on Instagram. We could chat.
We have Westwood.
Real quick, I'm sorry. I will be doing an event in Fairfield, New Jersey, probably this spring, in person, 2 or 3 day event. All right, James, Westwood.
Sorry. Is it easier to turn a good owner into a leader or a leader into an owner?
Is it easier to turn a good owner into a leader or a leader? It's easier to turn a leader into an owner because anyone could open a salon. Not everyone can lead a team. It's really, like, honestly, owning a salon is fucking easy. Like, it blows my mind when I talk to people and they make it harder than it really needs to be. What's really hard is having 3, 4, or 5 salons. Like, that's hard to do because now it's not you. It's you being a better leader and teaching other people how to be leaders. So if you want to get a book on that, it's called The 5 Levels of Leadership. It's an amazing book. Your leadership needs to be so good that you're creating other leaders in order to run an organization like that. And so this is why CEOs get paid hundreds of millions of dollars to go work for a company, because they have to lead people. And like sometimes the CEO of a company is a really shitty leader, which is why they step down from being a CEO and they hire a real leader to lead their company or take it to the next level. So a lot of times as a salon owner, if you're a really shitty leader, you maybe got this far, like team of 5, team of 6, team of 7, things are kind of not where you want them. Maybe it's time you hire someone who's a really strong leader to fulfill that role as the CEO of your salon. But it takes a real leader to even know that they're not a good leader. So there's a certain aspect of emotional intelligence that, and obviously like self-awareness, I should say, to know that, hey, I don't have the skills to take my salon to the next level. I'm a great hair cutter, a great colorist, great whatever. I give a great experience, but I have a hard time having the hard conversations with my team. And I have a hard time holding a standard that's consistent with everybody else. And so if that's you, then it's time for you to either really dive into leadership, like hit me up, I'll make a leader out of you, or hire someone to be a leader in your salon. And I love this analogy, guys. You probably heard me if you guys have been listening to my lives for a while. Something called Heaven's Gateway. It was a guy back in the 70s that orchestrated a mass suicide. And not that I'm condoning that at all. I think no one should ever do that. But he was able to get people who had kids, they were married, they had great jobs, some were homeless, some were rich. He was able to organize this group of people to commit a mass suicide, kill themselves. And you can't get your stylist to post on Instagram or even show up to work on time. So is it a leadership problem or is it a people problem? Because that crazy motherfucker got people to kill themselves. You can't get Diane to post on social media. So are you a good leader or not? You're blaming your team, but is it the team or is it your leadership? James.
We have, let's see, Mindy Ladd. She's been in the chat the past couple days. Good morning from Bend. I'm finding that I'm not getting an extra bonus for Christmas. Are you finding more people aren't doing bonuses this year? I don't expect them, but it would be nice.
This is why I love the independent stylist model. I'm giving bonuses this year. I give bonuses every year. I get bonuses when I made no money. I always give bonuses. I think it's part of you being an owner. Like if your team sucks, then don't. Like my team who left this year, they're probably not going to get bonuses when they should get bonuses from their new salon that they work for, but they're probably not. I think that you have to maybe pick and choose who you're working for a little more carefully, and does it align with your views? Now, align with your values. You are looking for a bonus. I'm going to ask you this question. What did you do for your salon or for the business you work for that brought in more revenue, that added value to the team, added value to the culture, added value to the customer experience? And if you left today, would that salon feel the impact of your absence? So if you're a stylist and you're looking for a bonus, and this is not directed at you, if you left the salon today, are you irreplaceable? Would the salon feel that impact in the culture, in the revenue, in anything? If you were gone, what would happen to that salon? If nothing happens to that salon, then maybe you don't deserve a bonus.
She meant from clients. She's independent.
Oh, a bonus? You mean like a tip?
Yeah.
Oh, I just went on a rant for no reason. They're just being cheap.
I think, yeah, people are strapped for cash right now.
James is strapped for cash because I don't pay him enough. They didn't do enough, though.
Okay.
I think that if you're independent, do you get tipped too? I'm curious. You own the business, so it's a little different. You're in a suite. Sorry for that rant, by the way. But I think someone needed to hear that, so I'm glad it came out.
It landed for someone.
So, guys, yeah, you're going to see a little less when it comes to the Christmas gifts and the bonuses and all that stuff. But people find a way, if you meant a lot to them, to give you the bonus. Honestly, at the end of the year, it all averages out. But I don't see it personally. I'm not behind the chair anymore. But I did see a lot of presence in my salon from people. James, next question. Let's wrap it up right now.
Has said she's noticed the same thing. And Mindy Ladd just said she'll be an owner at some point. Curls and Coin, how do you set boundaries around your time without losing clients?
I want you to reframe that question if you could. You mean, oh, well, I got it now. You mean set boundaries around your time, like, hey, I can't come in at this day?
Yeah, I'm guessing, yeah.
Yeah, okay. The reason why that didn't hit because I never set boundaries around my time.
You never what?
Ever. I never set boundaries around my time. It was like, I'm a business owner and I have a business. Now, when I had kids, things changed. And so here's the best way to do it. What do you need the boundaries for? Let's start there. Are you a mom? Do you have other things going on, like for yourself? So what I like to do is go in your calendar, put in all the things that are important to you, everything that excites you in your life, time with your kids, time with your husband, time with your wife, time with whoever. Put all that time in, block it off in your calendar so it's taken care of. Anything else, if you want to put in like your 5 to 8 hours sleep that you need, block that in there too. Anything else is open game. So that way, when someone asks you, hey, can you come in on Wednesday at 12? Oh, I can't. I got soccer practice for my daughter, but I could do Thursday at 1. That's just how you do it. Fill in all the things that are important to you that you need the boundaries for. Put them in your calendar. Because honestly, and this is just me, if I'm going to sit home and do nothing, I'd rather be in the salon making money. So if you're going to take off work, do something with that time that's meaningful with the people you love. All right, James.
Jenny Caracata wants to know if you give Christmas bonus to your stylists.
I do.
Westwood, will you be writing a book in the future?
I am writing a book, actually. It should be dropping in 2026. I'm going to self-publish it.
We have stylist scale. What KPIs should every stylist be tracking besides average ticket?
Your retention rate. That's the most important one. Like your average ticket, we talked about that today because that was in my catalog of shit to talk about. But in reality, it's your retention rate. Your retention rate will dictate how successful your ads are. Your retention rate will dictate how successful you are as a hairstylist. If people are coming to you one time and they're not coming back again, that means something's off with your service or your personality. So your retention rate tells a very accurate story of the services that you're providing and if they're good or not or worth coming back. So I would always look at your retention rate.
We have I just lost it. Oh yeah. The Color Cottage. How do you explain the value of professional products versus drugstore products?
That's great. We talked about this yesterday too. Drugstore products, find brands that are better than drugstore products. Like if you're selling L'Oreal in your salon, and I took a shot at Salon Centric yesterday for this, L'Oreal products that you get professional in the Salon Centric, it's the same shit that you get in drugstore. I don't care if anyone wants to fight with me on this. It's the same ingredients. There's a couple influencers who already exposed it. Like then you're beat. Like you're paying $50 for a shampoo, then get for 12. Find brands that you can only get in a salon, or if they do sell on Amazon, are higher priced. But show them the product works. If they like, I had a client, I said this whole story yesterday. So if you're listening back to back, she came to my salon. I said, your hair looked amazing. She was like, I'm like, what are you using? She's like, I'm using Dove. I'm like, holy shit, your scalp looks healthy. Your hair looks healthy. Your color lasted. She's like, should I not use it? I'm like, no, use it. What am I going to say? Your hair looked amazing. I'm not going to lie to her. I'm like, what are you using for styling? She's like, using this. I'm like, honestly, your hair, it doesn't look good in this picture, or that's not going to work. Use this instead. Don't buy the shampoo, buy this product. So be honest and transparent. But if the drugstore shampoo is working for them, then let it work for them. Guys, I hate to break the news to everybody listening right now. It's soap. It's a surfactant, some kind of a cleansing agent in shampoo, and water, and some other fragrances and ingredients. There's really nothing special about hair products. I'm sorry, like all you brands out there who spend the time, listen, there are better ingredients. I get all that. Trust me, I get it. But at the end of the day, it's really soap and water and shampoo. Like when it comes to other products, there's alcohol, there's like, it's all the same shit. What sells it is how you do their hair with that particular product. And you know how to use it so you can guarantee the result. I also can't guarantee your color will last if you use XYZ brand from CVS, but I guarantee my results with this shampoo. And if the brand you're carrying in a salon isn't good, get a better brand. But I'm giving you the most authentic answer I could. It's all the same shit. It's just packaged better with a better smell, which is why we sell it for $55. So, sorry.
Joe Kiwi's joining live.
Joe Kiwi. Joe, you guys got to make content over there at your at the practice.
I don't know what the hell. I don't know what
you guys are doing.
Rob Hair Artisan. I closed the salon the week between Christmas and New Year's. Is that a mistake? How do you feel about that?
I think it's your salon. You should do what you want. Take a look at your numbers. Like, guys, when it comes to closing yours, close it. Like, if that makes you feel better, close the salon down. It sucks to be in the salon anyway. How amazing was Christmas break when you were a kid? Like leaving school, like in high school or whatever grade you were in, and then you were done until like January. That shit was awesome.
It was the best.
Do it again. Close a week in August too. Like give yourself a mini summer vacation. I get it. It's all about money, right? You're owning a business. Like you got to make sure your numbers are right. Your rent's paid and this is covered. And if your team can withstand taking that week off too, they're not like you're educating, coaching your team on how to budget and save and really invest properly. So they're not stuck for cash either. Then take the week off. And I'm a workaholic. Like I like to work. Like I enjoy it. So when I was behind the chair,
Enjoy it is an understatement.
But I can't take a week off now because obviously we have the coaching program and I got to coach you guys, but I will take a couple of days off. But I think for a salon, I've really softened up over the last couple of years just because people can't keep up with my pace either. And I can't expect someone to deliver the pace I have. It's like Gary Vee asking his team to keep up with him. It's not going to happen. Not that I'm Gary Vee, guys, but it's like, take the week off. I think if you made the decision to do it, I don't think it's a mistake. I know who you are. You're a pretty bright guy. Enjoy it. Enjoy the reset. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Amazing book. If you haven't read it, get the book. 7th habit. You have to sharpen the saw. Take the time to sharpen the saw. So what that means is, I'll give you guys the analogy and the story for that. 2 guys are cutting down trees, right? Or sharpen the axe, whatever you want to call it. They're chopping down trees. One guy takes off every day for 2 hours, comes back. The other guy is working right through lunch, working right through him. At the end of the day, the guy who left for 2 hours has more wood cut down, more trees cut down. At the end of the week, the one guy goes to the other guy. He's like, hey, you leave for 2 hours every day. I'm busting my ass to cut down trees, and you always have more than me. Where do you go for 2 hours? He goes, oh, I go home and sharpen my axe. So it's important that you take time to sharpen the axe because it will make you more effective in the long run. So guys, James, with that said, today's live is a wrap. If you guys want to chat with me personally, you can go to the Level Up Academy, fill out the application, and you can talk to me anytime you want. If you are a salon owner and you are not just starting out, but even if you are starting out and you want help growing your salon, please reach out to me. If you're struggling to hit that 7-figure mark, do me a favor, reach out to me. There is a way to do it that won't suck the life out of you. And I would love to help guide you and get you from that $500,000 a year mark to that 100 or that 900, $1 million a year mark. Super simple to do once you have the right process in place, the right systems, and you hire the right people. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. I'll see you all tomorrow. If you're on YouTube, make sure you click subscribe. If you're on Facebook, shoot over to Instagram. Make sure you give me a follow. And I'll see everybody tomorrow.